here the room every HSTV Ghana and Andy Grow TV Ohio.
Ebushamo ajo emao akwaba mfemre HSTV so ende eye benada oforiso na bosom na da etoso nkron wa infimpi mienu ne edunu nan mu ende akwa ebenade de na chese nchire kesen koma abenafo ene kwabnafo ina embraso sa insama eje him ewo yaman Ghana mu no musonfo na ma ADEPA duga no beje obeno sema no edwesa ade besom wo se no mpemu akan kese bo HSTV na me ka se kese bo mu nsem edoso na dia obeti bini Dr. Mahmoud Baumia O2 Frank Adame NPP amnyekunu one Chief Justice ADEPA jumede bi honto me bobo atembo adwumekunu Sara ensu na garam sefo amuwo bogwaso prisia mu de nsem etidwo mu chem se contract amuwo from the future global resource no empenifo entwem emfa mo Obasan atibi se domu kuma mo meche bedwefie de nsem etidwo mu chem se ora kinsi adimano modebo enhwe ni ntino empenifo entwe ne sensan Ensambinum ekawenu na musonfo na ma ADEPA dugan ma bona bede ma baje obane se mena dwese de baba som se na no pemu akan kese bo HSTV se me se metwa me ho aba ba kese bo ni nchemu no bede baba som Ebushamen san so ema akwa babiem emfamre HSTV so safina do kasamfoni no ato ha de na me kausa hey HSTV enumbe no numpem akan kase bona wasugusu awutie num mecha ensam no ase de na Dr. Mahmoud Baumia a frankatofo e de me NPP amanyekuno oni Chief Justice akomontuma abom ebe padwumede bi ehontom ebobo atembo adwumekono na we no amutwem se amanfo bi ewotimekan e de fa atembo adwumekono se ya ade a corruption project kan asemuma entin sa djumeje on ba checha manfo se be ye metimi adamu fine ensem bi say na Dr. Mahmoud Baumia edituja
chairman for the occasion and also chairman of the Council of State and Omanhene of the Jobin traditional area Dasebre Nana Oto Serebo II Honorable Lady Chief Justice Justice Gertrude Saki Tokono, Lord Justices of the Supreme Court, and Lord Justices of the Superior Courts of Judicature, Honorable Godfred Yebua Dami, Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Your Honors and Worships, the National President of the Ghana Bar Association, one lawyer, one chair. Ministers of State, Nananum, members of the Judicial Council, members of the General Legal Council, and members of Parliament and Parliament's Judicial Committee, deans of the various faculties of law, directors and staff of the Judicial Service, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am grateful for the opportunity to join you here today on this momentous occasion for the official launch of the document Leading Justice, a strategic framework of vision of her leadership, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, Justice Gertrude Saki Tokono, for the judiciary and the judicial service of Ghana. Let me begin by passing on the regrets of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana, who would have been here had his schedule permitted. He sends his best wishes for this successful launch. Ladies and gentlemen, there can be no escaping the fact that the duty of the judiciary and the judicial service is to bring justice closer to the people of Ghana by employing the tools and strategies that will make it much more comfortable for them to access and utilize instruments of justice. The judiciary is enjoined to do this, to ensure that the systems and structures of justice bring meaningful impact to the people for whom they have been designed. As it is commonly said, justice is not about
Ebusha meto ensam so edama amafo de na dom kuma mo meche begefie de ensam to dwamu twem se owura kinsili agima ne modebo enso ni ntimpenifo nhwe na amonsesa no na sa owura kinsili agima ne de bia odi nsem ono na otumi ema scholarship ewo oman mu na mo twem se ode yaya amanyosem aya ohwe se wo ye NPP ni ana ode ama ade no sunye se sa wo hwe obi a osefata no na nka wo de sa award na na scholarship no wo de ama na so nya ne sa ntini dom kuma esempenifo sa mo nhwe na omontwe ne ensensan. What is some from no enkane swafa no ohwe enyinama hode enkane enwensam so no ode sam atija o twem se eka e wo se aban ye mampene his excellency na danka kofado ontia no nya kawa enti no obesre se e wo se sa aka no mutumi echi ansa na yetimi ato aba e yo mampen foforo anya sa dia na dunso no afi kwa na e ba ba mo ensam se no opani Dr. Kobna Donko ode tuja.
The assurance from the sector players is that they think within a month we will get out of this situation. That is the assurance. Of course, the sweetness of the pudding is in the eating. We are all here. If within 1 month we are out of this situation, we'll all sing hallelujah. But there was a very interesting development, and some of us emphasized that there is an increasing debt stockpile. Payments that ought to be made are being rescheduled for 4 years, are being rescheduled for the next government. So the next government will be overburdened with debt in the energy sector going forward, and that is extremely worrying. Basically, we are not recovering the cost of electricity. So when you under-recover, you pile up debt. So it is important going forward we look at that. As a sector, what we really need to do is to drive down cost and improve on efficiency. In the short term, that has to be done. Well, they are already signing contracts, postponing a number of payments.
Galam say for Bogo Christian and some to Jomu Chemise. I saw ya from future global resources. I know Ejuman, Ombadimbo and Sweeney, 1824 and some. A more Chemusem, 2020, a buying a young Muse on Jamosono, Sabanisika Sim, and Asantia. Now, Chess says Edmekumu who to Kunamo cry Ashim. Now, way and I was some friends and chauffeur in Shemu, and man penny for a little money, Miss Penny pa others are a Kunano on to me and a jument penny for the sano. Sam Ramika say other so odi amusum. Way and I was some with to just say, of course, one of us that to Sudanimo, in film premium Edunaimu. I don't want by demonstration, that's all your chair per se pan, and the chair of my Ghana for.
The mining lease ought to be cancelled or terminated, and immediate steps taken to ensure that prospective investors who are available and ready to run the mine are brought in. Unfortunately, this has happened for the last 2 to 3 weeks. We are not hearing anything. Every attempt to reach the ministry, particularly the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, has proven futile. Meanwhile, that recommendation, which has subsequently been endorsed by the Attorney General's Department, only requires the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources to do something very simple, and that is to direct the Minerals Commission to terminate or cancel the mining lease. And that is what is required as we speak to you now. And so, we do not know what is holding the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources from proceeding to cancel or terminate the mining lease. Everybody is being held in a state of a limbo. In accordance with the Public Order Act, 15th of April 2024, we begin the demonstrations and we begin the picketing at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. And it's going to run from the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Subsequently, on the 18th, the 19th, we are at the Jubilee House to demonstrate, because we believe that we are being held to ransom by the officers of the state. The union, for that matter, have gone ahead to present a short-term operational plan to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources to the effect that once the mining lease is terminated, the current manpower base of the Future Global Resources mine is run by nationals. In other words, from the general manager to the least person on the mine is a black person. And so we can run that mine without...
Civil society organization for the same to Jomu Chemise, on by Oya Chopper, the Teman Penny, His Excellency Nadan Kwakofado. Now, Omu Chemise, and fed the men Numuno, and in drum the Kwakoshe, Aya for Yaria, and malaria in Drew, any HIV/AIDS in Drum, Saranche TB in Drew, Ekan Sandre, Adia, Omokofada Basha, Aya for Sabamo or Maimu. Now, where HMuse. Sika $40 million in a 24 edge a day from Honesasication Yado Munibi into Eduno Akatema Port, Wabesin Sisami Kese. Way and Amasuma Muchem say, Adisha Feme Wumpu, Yasam Kuma, a Muchem send say in Druna and buying into a man for Quire Sabia, or Munya Drukra and Amodia Show, into the 24 Chem say a man penny and to me, I be from let's say Druna to me, common Sadia, and the Yachra Pan on Bay at their channel.
In line with regular practice, Global Fund made available $400,000, being 1% of the value of the commodities to cover procurement and supply management costs. However, at the time the commodities arrived, Government of Ghana informed Global Fund that the amount of $400,000 would not be sufficient for the clearance due to increase in port charges. This was coupled with the fact that Parliament had failed to grant waivers for AU, ECOWAS, and COVID-19 recovery levies. According to government, the required amount in taxes and levies and port charges for the clearance of the commodities will be $3.6 million. The Global Fund raised concerns about this amount and reminded government that as part of the framework agreement between the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance, and the Global Fund, they are not supposed to pay taxes and levies to commodities they donate freely to the country. Our greatest fears are that if no action is taken now, by the time the medications are cleared, some may have expired or may no longer be safe for human consumption. In March 2024, a 12-member delegation from the Global Fund paid a working visit to the country to follow up on the locked-up commodities. In spite of all their efforts, they did not make any headway, and the commodities still remain uncleared at the ports. They have therefore indicated that Ghana risks losing all Global Fund support if government fails to act on the matter. To start with, they have already suspended all commodity shipments to the country until the ones at the ports are cleared. This development has dire consequences for the hundreds of thousands of our compatriots whose daily survival depends on free medications donated by Global Fund. In view of the above, we, the leadership of CSO networks, whose area of operations mainly focus on HIV and AIDS and malaria and TB, plan to stage a mass public demonstration to present.
Ebushame from Kwapemu, Ashanti Mountain Bia from Asafo Market. Ora samwa pan de sem atoje o chemi sem asafo market na eyade obebe biemu se de be adwede betimi akoso e honum na o chemi se adetonfo no se de obi apen no stimi esi nidwa wei na wosoma o chemi se jeto hwa ebe de pa se edum jefo betimi ebodum no enu ntino o si no abefu de bi na we bie biem se de ebe ya atofo benya ahoto afi wonso a woton ade e ho nso no wonso obeto
idwa no sebe modern market adwamono a ebenya baby a fire bewo obenya security ewom obenya baby obeje omunan beye bibia e kire se wudu dwuma bia wo ho a how bia emem ye yenso se be conform to city planning no na makrom so atie eno ntina omoye saa ehihye no ohwe asafudwa no a ache ebe okra na eyempata e na ehihye mu obia ye ne de sedu sipe no eja eto ho a etumi de nsem eba nti assembly ne dwene we se nyina ho se ye se adwuma no but the omunsu ne se eye PPP public private partnership and the DDSA adwuma no nti ye the redevelopment of the market be my modern between accommodating microphobia abeka ho e be ma safety for properties lives and everything so no and also be nti ne ye se adwuma no to be have face one and two no kra no o ma wi allocate ama microphobia. Apart from that, no supervision no free assembly ha. Yan kasa engineers no, omna serve as consultants and supervisors of the monitor bibia. So to make sure say brano no. Me ankasa no, mema mani akum no mahwe ehu say adwa no omo ye ne say de kan na mpa.
Ye nyina edudwa wa ha. Current stores you say sizes ne kura emususa. But the omo ye otu ene hwe de omodi kan ye ya. Also, a move by baby as convenient places in the room. Looking at the edifice, the replication of the Abanadi. Asafu market is going to be more than Dubai market, I'm telling you. Now, the best is a time no the Amayeno. A bit copper pepper, said the Bay, as you say, be announced at the Bush and the Juma. And this one Yakoyan floor. The only concern was to see and I said,
a bush Asafu market in Semi Sunamendi, a boy from Kratz from Ramebaka, Sebono, Jackie and Amoson from the Betwamoso.
Fellow Ghanaians, I am your humble servant, Mr. Mbox. Uni samedie, adia efo, na ye kama, and I make count for Eddie Emma War, and make count for Mbox 100 quota Eddie amount. Adia yapa, and this one kwejuma. Now favorite movie and a telenovela and our sports, Yaya Eddie Jawo. Hey, yo papa, with Mbox 100 decoder, who bet him the pen drive as your home. Now I recording your favorite movie and as a telenovela. What me so connect HDMI cable Edman screen buzzing. Our Wi-Fi. Samsung and our LAN. There's the internet need a buzzing. Samsung not to me at the bottom. I'm a funny yo mo. Ut me at the board game. No feel. I wish I'm winning na. Mbox 100 decoder. Emma over 15,000 channels. Ghana, and if you are suffering now, you could not a year free. What the answer by subscribing 3 months. Abosumi a year 100 Ghana cedis. Now open your body. Majimidie, Usuko, Nequajudie, from 24 Matrufuizo 0505 776761 0505 776761. Mbox 100 decoder. Make your life colorful. Mr. Mbox, my team dear, me cool.
Ebushamen sign so amount akwa babiem fembre HSTV so enumbe no numpemu akran kese bono asuguso a wotie no meto ensam no so e di ama odia na enam se e wo se asomdwe ene pepe ye ebo aman mu ene aman ahodo suntinu impenifo ene investors e konhyemu wo inhyemude na ase no ora David Douglas adensam eto mu nimo mu twemu se omonso no montime embo na asomdwe embra aman Ghana mu ene aman hodo so afri se bebia asomdwe eni ho no wontime ndi be wontime mba brebia e ho no entenso motime aye bibi e wo aman mu ene aman hodo so dia ene omonso ontime mbo na asomdwe embra aman Ghana mu.
Peace is the pivot for the drive of investment. You can't talk about investment without talking about peace. There is no investor who is ready to invest in your country without first of all ensuring that the land is peaceful, for investment. Job creation is based on investment. It is the investors that will come to our land to set up businesses. And the businesses that our investors will set up is what will create job for our youth. And we want to know who are the drivers of peace in our country. Identifying the drivers of peace in our country as an organization, we know that our community leaders, because the talk of peace is not something that we need to leave for politicians. The politicians don't have what it takes to think about me and you when it comes to peace. The politicians don't have what it is to talk about peace when it comes to investment, because even in our country, we all know what is going on in this country in terms of hospitality, in terms of health. When it comes to peace, our politicians are not there truly for peace. And if the politicians are not there for peace, who are the people who are there for peace? It is me and you. It is about our investment. It is about our business. It is about what you set up over here. If something happened in this country as we speak today, the politicians, they can pack their bag and luggage and travel out of this country. But for me and you, our investment that is in this country is what we are looking at. So if we need people to talk about peace, it is not the politicians who are supposed to talk about peace. It is we, the individuals, who are supposed to talk about peace. It is the CSOs that are supposed to talk about peace. It is the private sector that's supposed to talk about peace. Ghana, this is the first time that we are hosting this. I'll say in Africa, this is the first time that we are hosting this. But we named this Africa's Peace, Investment and Tourism Summit because we know what is going on the continent, and it is our responsibility also to ensure that peace reign on our land for our investors to have.
Ebu shami from kwa kasa bono ewo finfi mante mu bia ye fro ho ebisiwa na me che kase esuku fo mienu bia makwekwagu galamse amune ma me kase da ma se na ewo ensedo na omo twem se sa amuna no akoye ewu afidi a dodo na eyade omu ewo mu na omo twem sa amuna no ebeda ho ye nde dodo na etime kwagu amuna no mu eti ya no ensedo nti omo sempenifo nti me bibi enfa ma ya sa dia de achi sei na beba ensem bi sei na ebusuafo ene assemblyman editu dwa
bi ejina shortcut amanfo timi fa efri abeswa na wusi barrier na sene mamuhu pelamsefo edi ha na anya na mudiye be 4 years ni me be ya assemblyman kra na mudi musika nwie no instead so me kataso na man kataso na me nua edi dem wa ha last 2 years akwa ba ko betom ewui ba me yedi mi sisu ya nche akwa ba de ma me no nkra mienu a mo kwa bisku form 3 na mo betom a last week na yesi omo na mo ho metu afa ho ne se na do pinfo ba ha sei e ma no mo ko rounds na rounds ne ko e no omo ko ma MC report na MC so maye nyantie se be kata me na no so maye ebisa MC se na daben o se enche se enu se eche na nua yenim me ne mpenu fo mu gira mechi yese e ma MC be 4 months sesere no yenti min nanko anamu bi obetwa so a be kata so maye on kata so maye se ne ebi wuye no ebi nsan kosi biem a se so to no bi fa ha se no ahwe ya patrima no okutum amena no hu ni san so emu wa enti ye be sere bibia MC wo bia bibia MP wo bia yesere no mampanyini tie ya yesere no on be hwe ye abesoa barrier na ye di ramse e wo kro fifi se no menua e ha adwene
Ebusia ha na mbema mkwan mamede no mpemu akan kesebeni na ebesi insahudwa bi a wotie e wo kesebemu enesem Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia a Frankate for the NPP amunyaguno or the Ntoma abo Chief Justice dia ana omapagimede bi ehontima betimi aboa atembu adwumenku Sara enso na galam say from wo Christian in same air to jamuchem say contra jamuni future global races e wono ebe yanka ban entwem enfa mom Sara enso na don kuma mo mese begefie den same air to jamuchem say ora kinsili ajemane modebo enso ni ntabe yanka ipenifo entwene sensan Ensan binim ekawen na mbobo anu gba na bede mabaje obono semono edwasa edeba somo se no pemu akan kesebo HSTV so as the PCM kuma production team ni na won so awoje ebre ehwe me no as the enko enfa ma okenkan fo enumbe ejame na ma ADEPA dugan madawase amambo ene hwa adehye
kaseɛ yɛde brom efiri